This feudal lord is highly scientific. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 576. You will eventually be great. The principal's office. Lin Ke slumped in his chair, as if a mammoth had been trampled 100 times. No, mammoths are not that fierce. It must be the daughter of Emperor Wumian and the 5-colored dragon mother, the daughter of Emperor Wumian and the moon goddess, plus a goddess from Nasang, who could crush him like this. He gasped, trembling with the lava staff, barely propped himself up, and sat up straight. Do you want to kill me? Lin Ke's face was pale, as if he had cold white skin. He leaned on the lava staff and roared weakly at Renerdika in front of him. He had just used not only his will vision, but also the leader, skill, public opinion and destiny, to barely wake up Renerdika. If Renerdika had not been awakened, it is estimated that the Great Wilderness University, which had been in operation for no more than a month, would have become history. And he, along with countless legends, gods, professionals and ordinary people, would all become nothingness. He, professors, lecturers and other faculty members, as well as countless students, will become one of the most unlucky people. Huh. You don't have a good physique. Renerdika woke up at this time, and even teased Lin Ke easily. It seems that your 3 girlfriends don't train you enough on weekdays. Don't you really consider training Ruin? Lin Ke was speechless. Do you know what you just did? You still have the mind to laugh now? Lin Ke swore that, if he was the Emperor Wumian, he would definitely go up and punch this handsome uncle's stubbled face a few times. Isn't it just becoming a part of my dreams and memories? What's the big deal? Renerdika whistled nonchalantly. The golden holy stag armor on his shoulder also nodded and seemed to agree with Renerdika's words. You. Lin Ke almost choked to death. Renerdika was level 27, and even if Nasang was destroyed, he could live well in the astral world. The same was true for the golden holy stag armor. As a virtual beast of the astral world, it didn't know how many lives it had killed. Of course, the two of them didn't care. If you want to do this, I can only call my father-in-law and my teacher. Lin Ke's originally angry face immediately calmed down, and then smacked his lips. Haha, your means of threat are not very good. Do you think I'm afraid of them? Renerdika smiled lazily, but then he stopped being nonchalant, and then sighed softly, saying, okay, I won't tease you anymore, little guy. I really don't know what's wrong with your brain. It's really true that Wumian, that little guy, can have a son-in-law like you. Renerdika didn't know how to describe it for a while, so he could only shake his head helplessly. If the old daughter of the goddess of luck had not been killed by Debius long ago, I would suspect that Wumian had slept with her. Lin Ke glanced at Renerdika lightly after hearing this. The power level of the goddess of luck is too low, and it can't affect your majesty Wumian, right? The so-called goddess of luck, and even cannot control luck, and in the end, they are even coerced by the will of believers, becoming a machine driven by the godhead and losing personality. In the end, he was killed, because the skill of astrologer, Debius required luck, or the rule of fate. It can be said that in front of a truly strong person, luck is also a real weakness. Hey, I thought you were going to tell me that the so-called luck is just a probability. Renerdika laughed. That's how it is. Lin Ke smiled. Infinite non-repeating decimals explain one of the essences of the star world, which is disorder, infinity, and lawlessness. Even Debius can only intercept a fragment of countless time streams, but cannot accurately predict it. Okay, let's not talk about this. Renerdika's face straightened, then sat down, looked directly into Lin Ke's eyes, and said word by word, you are destined to become greater than me, greater than the sleepless emperor, and greater than Andrew. Lin Ke frowned slightly, not knowing what Renerdika meant. Just as he was about to ask, he was interrupted by Renerdika waving his hand and said, I can foresee that your scientific system is a great invention, that is no less than the professional system. Even the professional system can actually be included in your mind, right? Although it was a question, Renerdika expressed a tone of certainty in every word. Lin Ke opened his mouth, but couldn't say a word. Is that so? It should be, right? In Lin Ke's eyes, the professional system is indeed a kind of science. That is, it is something that follows certain rules, can be copied, can be thought about, and can be understood. So, for the future, will the professional system be included in science? The answer is yes. There is not much difference between the professional system and the ordinary people system in essence. Professionals as strong as Emperor Wumian also have 7 emotions and 6 desires. Mortals as weak as ordinary people can also be saints. I don't know what the silly boy Wumian is like, but Andrew must know your potential. Rene Desca's tone was full of emotion. I didn't know why Andrew was willing to give so many honors, resources, and support to a person before, so I subconsciously came from the infinite distance of the star world. After seeing you, I seem to know it gradually. Rene Desca, why did you tell me so much? Lin Ke raised his eyebrows. Rene Desca's breath was out of control for no reason, and then he praised him a lot for no reason, which made him embarrassed. Is he great? Not necessarily. Because the greatness he embodies has always been derived from the giants who stood in the human civilization in his previous life, not really from himself. He thinks he is just a porter. This is not modesty, but self-knowledge. Therefore, the praise from others will turn into a driving force to spur him forward. Since he is not great enough, then do more. Me. I said so much, just asking you again. Rene Descartes curled his lips, then secretly glanced at Lin Ke, pretending to be indifferent and said, how about you become my disciple? Of course, my ego personality and ego consciousness have never accepted disciples, but I have many disciples and countless dreams, so I have good teaching experience. Ah. Lin Ke was surprised. Why do you want to accept disciples again? Don't these big guys have other ways to get closer? Don't look at me like that. What else can I do? Rene Desca glared. What else can I do if I don't accept you as my disciple? Is it a marriage? You don't even like a beauty like Riven. How can you accept me? Lin Ke. But at this moment, the golden holy stag armor on Rene Desca's shoulder seemed to move its little mouth and say something in his ear. Rene Desca looked serious, nodding as he listened. Then, before Lin Ke could react to the silence of being accepted as his disciple, Rene Desca said another sentence. Forget it. How about you accept me as your disciple? Rene Desca looked serious, and so did the golden holy stag armor on his shoulder. Chapter 577 Lin Ke's first disciple. I'm so fucking stupid. Looking at the serious man and insect in front of him, Lin Ke was almost speechless. Is there such a thing? If you can't accept a disciple, then become a disciple. Absolutely. You don't seem to have accepted a disciple yet? Rene Descartes seemed to feel that his choice was correct. Look, I'm level 27. I can become a master at any time, and I'm also one of the founders of the idealist school. Just think about it, how face-saving it is to say it out. It's not a matter of face. Lin Ke didn't know whether to laugh or cry. No, why do you want to become a disciple? There are more ways to get closer. You have to know that the true master-disciple relationship should be like Lin Ke and Aofu, teaching, learning, solving doubts, getting along and growing together. That kind of master-disciple relationship is almost the same as family affection in a sense. It doesn't mean that you can have that kind of relationship just by becoming a disciple. Think about Han Xianzhen who saved the dying and the wounded in another plane. Think about the sea god and Yu Xiao gang in the god realm. Not everyone is Lin Lei in Drinkwater, and not everyone is Xiao Yan and Yao Leo. What did the saying in the previous life say? There is Yao Leo in the endless fire realm, but Yu Xiao gang is not seen in the god realm. How can the master-disciple relationship be that simple? I became your disciple because I want to learn knowledge. Rene Desca was very serious, and you just happen to have a lot of knowledge. I have a lot of knowledge. Lin Ke was helpless. What you said makes sense, and I almost agreed. If you said a little more, let alone other things, just this news would cause a great shock. The old monster, the idealist school leader who can drag countless planes into his dreams and let countless creatures live in his consciousness, is now worshipping someone as his master? What? The one he worships is just a little guy who is less than 30 years old and less than level 15. Damn, can Rene Desca's enemies bear to step on Lin Ke a few times? In addition, Lin Ke has never accepted a disciple. If he accepts a disciple now, what is it? If there is one, there will be 2, if there are 2, there will be 3, and if there are 3, there will be endless. He himself has not yet reached the dying moment when he needs to pass on knowledge in mantle, nor has he reached the period when his development has reached a bottleneck. He is now on a steady and even rapid rise, and he wants to split his time in half, so how can he have time to train any disciples? Say something more. However, René was very concerned about Lin Ke's words at this time. He turned his head and whispered with the golden saint stag armor and turned his head back a few seconds later. Then I will say more. I don't need you to teach me now. You can teach me later when you have time, want to teach, and can teach. In addition, now, you only need to guarantee that you can teach me for 2 hours a week, right? Say more means this? Exclamation mark. Lin Ke was speechless, but he had to admit, René conditions really made him excited. No need to teach now, teach when you can, and want to teach in the future? If you don't want to teach, then don't teach forever. There is a good thing. Of course, Lin Ke is not that kind of person. But even if it is a hard condition, you only need to teach 2 hours a week, which is very loose. In the past, Lin Ke's part-time work and study time was more than this. If René is willing to help a few more times. Yes. René nodded frantically at this time. Once a week. How about it? Or twice? Or just once a day? Lin Ke widened his eyes and immediately thought in his heart, you are stealing my thoughts? René waved his hands quickly. No, I'm just guessing what you mean. You have the protection of the sleepless scepter. How can I steal? Lin Ke's eyes widened immediately and blurted out, you are not stealing. You even said the word stealing. Ah, I didn't mean it. René waved his hands again. Lin Ke's face darkened, and he said in his heart, I can accept you as a disciple, but you must never pry into my privacy in the future, whether it is intentional or unintentional. No problem. René agreed directly. Lin Ke was speechless. From now on. René okay. Got it. Lin Ke, I said you can't pry. René I know. Don't say it. Lin Ke, you are still looking. René okay. I won't watch it anymore. Lin Ke. After a lot of back and forth, René finally stopped accidentally, carelessly, uncontrollably, and mistakenly peeking into Lin Ke's mind and thoughts. And Lin Ke finally understood why René couldn't control his breath just now. First, it was because Lin Ke's words caused him to think, and he couldn't help but you saw his thinking power to think. So all the laws, fundamental laws and rules in his body were running subconsciously. The second reason was that he almost broke through again. If René broke through and became the master, then, except for a few people, most of the intelligent life in Dahuang University would become part of his memory, consciousness and dreams, and completely disappear in reality, without even a trace of existence. It has to be said that a strong man like René is also quite terrifying. A person who lives in the consciousness of others, lives in the memory of others, and repeats a certain life over and over again without feeling anything wrong. Just like those cartoons, movies, and TV series that are played over and over again. If René had ill will towards some planes, he could drag the entire plane into his consciousness, turn it into his dream, and live in his memory. It must be said that some legendary masters, especially those who have reached level 27, who are only one step away from the master level, have terrible abilities. And a master with such terrible and strange abilities has now become his disciple, or apprentice. Lin Ke looked at René who looked lazy in front of him, and wanted to slap him twice. He also wanted to ask him about some professional skills, such as those related to dreams, consciousness, and memory, and he also wanted to ask about some ancient secrets. Anyway, he didn't feel like teaching anything. Damn it, René probably knows more than 180,000 times more than he knows. How can he teach? Although it is said that there must be a teacher among 3 people, there are too few things that René does not know, but he does not know too many things that René does. Don't worry too much, Teacher Lin Ke. René sat in front of his principal's desk, resting his head on his arms lazily, looking leisurely. Seeing Lin Ke's entangled look, He couldn't help but smile. The potential contained in your knowledge may indeed need to pursue the truth, to be considered as the end. In short, the potential contained in your knowledge is endless. As he said that, Rene Descartes' lazy look was put away, and his expression became serious. But, I still want to say, what? Seeing Rene Descartes' expression, Lin Ke also put away his tangled expression and asked, what? Chapter 578, News about Rene Descartes. Uproar. What I want to say is, I'm about to announce that I'm your disciple. Rene Descartes' face was serious. Why? Lin Ke frowned. He didn't want this information to be announced. Not only for him, but also for Rene Descartes. To be honest, announcing the information actually has more disadvantages than advantages. Although this will increase his prestige in assing, his prestige from backers and other aspects is already enough, but his prestige from his own side is still a little short. With so many such backers, it is like flattery to him. The greater his momentum and the more prominent his statement, once he encounters failure, his prestige will be swept away, and he will be in a low ebb. Although he is not afraid of the low ebb, and has the courage to persevere, and not forget his original intention, he is afraid of trouble. Moreover, announcing the information in this way, is tantamount to making Rene Descartes unable to raise his head in front of their generation. An ancient giant took a newbie as his master. Because publishing information can attract a lot of people, Rene Descartes smiled. Even if they are just curious, there will be a lot of people. I know. Lin Ke said helplessly, the problem is that there are too many people. Isn't it a good thing to have more people? Rene Descartes glanced at Lin Ke. You have so many planes now, how can you develop them all? But what I lack is, wait. Lin Ke, who was originally helpless, retracted his expression, raised his eyebrows and asked, what do you mean? Hey, little Lin Ke, I'm a master of the mind. Rene Descartes' expression became lazy, leaned back, resting his head on his arms. You don't think I still have enemies, do you? Lin Ke choked, who said that there will be no enemies when you are strong? I can downplay his hostility towards me. Rene Descartes looked relaxed. Those who are hostile to me are not as strong as me, and I won't provoke those above the master. He glanced at Lin Ke. Boy, although I was not as glorious as you are now at my age, I was also a famous town on the continent. Don't underestimate me. I didn't. Lin Ke didn't know whether to laugh or cry. It's up to you. If you want to announce it, then announce it. So, the matter was settled. Lin Ke would choose a day to announce the news that Rene Descartes had become his disciple, and then quietly wait for a large number of people to rush to serve as cattle and horses. 2 days later, a piece of news came out from Dahuang City. The founder of the Idealist School, the 27th level, spiritual explorer, the powerful mind baron, His Excellency Rene Descartes, joined Dahuang University. That's not all. He also used the pseudonym Rene D to join the debate between materialism and idealism, and made his book Phenomenology of Spirit as the opening statement, and made it public. Unfortunately, the audience's memory that Rene Descartes could be promoted to the master level was erased by him, otherwise it would cause an uproar. After all, that is the master, the top existence of Nassim. Instead of becoming a master, he used an incredible method to dissipate that huge amount of feedback. Unfortunately, the audience had no memory at all. Legends and gods also knew how to respect Rene Descartes. The key was to respect Rene Descartes' level and strength. Therefore, what caused an uproar was the content introduced in the live photo stone of Dahuang. Rene Descartes, the big man, returned to Nassim. Not only that, he also joined Dahuang University. Not only that, he also joined Dahuang University. Not only that, he also joined Lin Ke's command. That's right, Lin Ke's command. To be more precise, he became Lin Ke's apprentice. Andrew's leg. Many people's first reaction was that Rene Descartes might have lost his mind or his mind was controlled, right? But think about it again. If you can control Rene Descartes' mind, I'm afraid even Wu Mian can control it. Think about it again. If Rene Descartes got crazy, then if he lost control, half of Nassim might be destroyed by Rene Descartes. So is this Rene Descartes' own choice? It's not just his own choice, it's his own choice. Anyone who knows Rene Descartes knows that this must be his own choice. As for why he made this choice, no one knows, they are just guessing. For most intelligent creatures, this uproar is only spreading among a small number of intelligent creatures. For most ordinary people, they have no memory or impression of the name Renedika. Legends and gods have a little impression, and only those who are very familiar with Renedika know who Renedika is. However, after listening to Renedika's series of introductions, many people know how powerful he is. Especially the word level 27. No matter how stupid an intelligent creature is, as long as he knows the profession and level, he knows what level 27 means. Of course, the news of Renedika is not only spread within Nasang, but also widely spread in areas outside Nasang. So, some intelligent life forms moved. As soon as I left the plane of continuous volcanoes, a man with volcanic eruption muscles in all aspects was bathing in magma, and next to him was a giant red dragon swimming on his back. Oh, damn, what kind of prayer is this? Are my believers crazy? Oh, Rattenmonsi, can you please stop farting in the lava? There's another small explosion. Oh, this is so interesting. Rattenmonsi, don't sleep. I have more than 200 million believers who can confirm this news. Oh my god. Oh no, I'm God. I mean, René Descartes actually worshipped the little guy as his teacher. No, René Descartes must be crazy. Only muscles can make him sober. Go. Hurry up. As he said this, the muscular man who seemed to be floating like a piece of stone jumped up out of thin air and slapped the belly of the dragon next to him twice. The dragon lazily raised its eyelids and spoke in human language. I'll sleep a little longer. Speed. The muscular man raised his hand and drew a crack in the star elm next to him, picked up the tail of the dragon next to him and stepped in. The dragon rolled its eyes, then flapped its wings and stepped in. Similar scenes are being played out in many places. Secondary planes, astral planes, void elemental planes, and so on. Countless people learned about René Descartes' return to Nasang through various channels, and then quickly rushed back. Some people simply found it interesting and wanted to join in the fun, while others knew that René Descartes must have a deep meaning in doing so they rushed to ask. Others thought more deeply. How good a treasure must it be for even a loser like René Descartes to covet it? Perhaps it can make them go one step further. So, countless people moved. In many secondary planes around Nasang, countless believers found that their gods were closer to them, and they were all excited. In Dahuang City, Lin Ke started an ordinary and daily day. Chapter 579, Robinson Crusoe. Every day, Lin Ke's job is to ride a bike, exercise his body, and train to charge during the day. This is to train himself in the two professions of knight and forger. At night, he engages in artistic and literary activities, such as painting, composing music, and writing books. Of course, the books he writes are mainly novels, the paintings he draws are mainly comics, and the music he composes is mainly pop music. Writing Lord Theory and Logic will not make Lin Ke improve in terms of artist, but will improve in terms of leader and scientist. What Lin Ke lacks most now is the accumulation of artist, knight, inventor, and forger. And today, Lin Ke is sitting at the principal's desk, writing under the magic light. The title of the book is Robinson Crusoe. Robinson is an ordinary citizen of the great desert city. He usually works in a hardware store, helping people repair doors and windows, open locks, change pipes, etc. He is a monopoly overlord in several surrounding blocks. And this hardware store comes from the last legacy of his down and out family. Yes, his ancestors had saved a little money as followers of a certain baron. Although his grandfather's generation had almost lost all of it, he still left behind a magic earring made of pure gold. He exchanged the earring for the currency of the great wilderness and then opened this hardware store. And one day, after a series of events, he decided to follow someone who bought a big ship and participate in the Great Wilderness Maritime Trade Road. So he sold his property, transferred the hardware store to other people, and even spent a lot of money to buy a set of clothes. Because he always felt that he had a talent for adventure. Instead of aging and dying in rust and copper rust, it is better to take risks. Go explore. Go experience the unknown. However, it is a pity that the ship of the trade team sank in an attack by an unknown force in the ocean of stars and waves. Storms, waves, thunder, calls for help, broken wood. In this unconsciousness, Robinson was accidentally rescued and woke up on a beach. This is a deserted island. So, he made a raft with the mast of the sunken ship, transported the food, clothes, etc. on the ship to the shore again and again, and set up a tent by the hill to settle down. Then he used sharpened wooden stakes to build a fence around the tent, dug a hole behind the tent to live, and used simple tools to make furniture such as tables and chairs. He hunted wild game for food and drank fresh water from the stream to get through the initial difficulties. Robinson regretted that he had not been enlightened and that he had not gone to adult school to become a professional. He often thought that if he was a person in an adult school, enlightened and employed in a certain profession, he might not have to worry about food. At least element and energy could replace part of the food. You know, the cost of enlightenment in Dahuang City is only 1 coin. Students with Dahuang City birth certificates can even be enlightened for free. Robinson knew that those newspapers often said that the subconscious enlightenment monopoly behavior of the nobles of the Black and White Kingdom made enlightenment a very luxurious noble standard. Even Lord Lin Ke spent 1,000 gold coins to be enlightened, and that was a friendship price. Robinson didn't go to enlightenment because he was afraid of trouble and wanted to save money. It was a very regretful choice. He remembered another sentence. Don't think about studying when you need knowledge, and don't become a professional when you need strength. At this time, Robinson, as an ordinary person, deeply realized that his good life came from being a citizen of the great wilderness, not from being an ordinary person. Of course, no matter how much regret you have, you can't save the past. This is the famous saying of mathematician Zhu Liu. At this time, all Robinson wanted to do was to survive. When he was safe and sound, and had no worries about food and clothing, he felt boring. But when he was in turmoil, chaos and hunger and cold, he wanted to go back to the past. Later, although he didn't find the seeds of the mark tree, he had other seeds. So he began to grow barley and rice on the island, made his own wooden mortar, pestle, and sieve, processed flour, and baked rough bread. Then, there were no magical beasts on the deserted island, but he captured animals without magic power, and he domesticated wild goats and let them reproduce. In addition, he also made pottery, and so on to ensure his living needs. He also built a country house and a farm on the other side of the deserted island. He learned all these from newspapers and live photo stones. He was more and more grateful to his mother, who made him learn the common language of Nasanj, and the newspaper invented by Lord Lin Ke made him learn all this. Although life got better, Robinson never gave up looking for a way to leave the island. He cut down a big tree and spent 5 or 6 months making a canoe, but the boat was too heavy to drag into the sea, so he had to give up all his previous efforts and build another small boat. Time passed like this, and Robinson lived alone on the island for 15 years. He wrote on the beach, practiced the common language facing the sea, and sang his idol, the queen of singing, Sophie, from time to time. And one day, he found a footprint on the coast of the island. Soon, he found human bones and traces of fire. It turned out that a group of savages from the outer island had held a human flesh banquet here. Robinson was shocked, so he remained alert and paid more attention to the things around him, fearing that the savages could use magic. After all, humans who still eat people must have never been in contact with the human world. Maybe it was a slave from a tribe in the Holy Life Alliance who ran away. Not necessarily a professional, but very likely to be magic. This vigilance lasted until the 24th year, when another group of savages came to the island with savage captives who were used as sacrifices, and were ready to be killed and eaten. After Robinson discovered it, he found through meticulous observation that it was a group of ordinary savages who could not use magic. So he rescued one of the captives, and the other ordinary savages knew nothing about the Holy Life Alliance, the Black and White Kingdom, so some died and some escaped. And because that day was Friday, Robinson named the rescued captive Friday. Since then, Friday has become Robinson's loyal follower, at least Robinson thought so. Then, he spent many years with Friday, until one day, he finally succeeded in self-enlightenment in the struggle for survival. After self-enlightenment, he explored on his own like Andrew did back then, and eventually became a professional, named Survivor. Then, under such circumstances, he finally built a wooden boat at level 8, and returned to the civilized world with Friday. He recorded his life on the desert island and waited for the opportunity to escape from the desperate situation at any time. And Friday, as the two of them spent time together day and night, they developed a friendship that was both father and friend. This civilized friendship became the spiritual support for Robinson's life on the desert island for more than 20 years. Finally, Robinson opened a grocery store and handed in the obtained professional tray ratio anonymously to thank him for the spiritual and intellectual support he received when he was on the desert island. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 580. 3 books are published simultaneously, causing a riot in the abyss, and paper is becoming more and more expensive in the wilderness. In just 3 hours, with the help of various skills of artist, Lin Ke finished writing the whole book. 10,000 words a day, 100 days to complete the book. These are all rubbish to Lin Ke. He wrote 110,000 words in 3 hours. Of course, Lin Ke also respects those tentacle monsters who write words, and he also respects those handsome guys who write 4,000 words a day. But no matter what, Lin Ke finally wrote another book. After writing the last period, Lin Ke put down the dark blue pen, rubbed his palms, and the paper in front of him naturally gave birth to a feedback. After receiving this feedback, Lin Ke meditated for another night, and artist finally took a step forward. Level 11. For others, his promotion is already very fast. You know, a talent like Billy Butler has been stuck at the 8th level, Butler, for so many years. But for him, it is still a bit slow. He has been stuck at the threshold of level 15 for too long. But, I can't remember. You can't eat hot tofu in a hurry. He can break through level 15 in scientist and leader at any time, but the great probability is that he will become an elemental professional. As we all know, elemental body professionals have only one talent, which is the elementalization of the body. For example, what is the difference between a water elemental body and an ordinary professional in a place where there is only fire element? Therefore, Lin Ke feels that the law body is necessary. This also means that his road will become wider and wider in the future. This is the butterfly effect, and also the handshaking effect. What is the handshaking effect? Project a beam of light on the wall, and then wave the arm holding the light source. The farther you stand, the more you can find that a slight shake of the arm may also cause a huge change in the light on the wall. This is the influence of the source on the downstream. What's more, there is also an accumulation effect. Now that Lin Ke has become a law body, he has one more trump card than others. When he reached the legendary level, the original gap was only 10 points and 9 points, and it immediately became 100 points and 81 points. The gap will be even greater if he goes up. Lin Ke doesn't want to lose at the starting line. Stretching, Lin Ke took out the lava scepter and paused on the ground. Master Lin Ke, what's the matter? The magma dragon Magnus immediately emerged from the ceiling and floated in the air. Sort this book out and give it to Han to publish it. Lin Ke pointed to the manuscript on the table. Also, let Han recruit more people. I will publish more books later and contact the paper mill. You know, this world is not the previous life. Nasang's demand for culture, entertainment, and art is very terrifying. Those nobles, chiefs, patriarchs, etc., have empty and lonely time every day. Therefore, when Lin Ke's series of literary works, artworks, entertainment works, etc. appeared, they greatly filled the shortcomings of Nasang in this regard, and then these people became even crazier. After eating fine flour and fine noodles, who would still be willing to eat bran? After experiencing all kinds of novels, comics, movies, and music produced by the great wilderness, who still likes the old ones? The stereotype singing of the god choir in the secondary plane, the boring and uninteresting account in the night novels, and the almost unchanging themes and tones of traditional oil paintings. Too greasy. Therefore, Lin Ke can have so many book fans in the abyss, because there are many people who can read in the abyss. Therefore, those reporters can be promoted quickly because they often appear on the live photo stone, and there are countless intelligent lives watching them. New book. A novel? Mana Dragon Magnus' eyes lit up, and Lin Ke didn't know how Mana, a spirit, could be so bright. But he suddenly remembered something, glanced at Mana, and asked, by the way, do you like reading books recently? Reading books? Mana thought Lin Ke wanted to chat, so he said easily, look, I often go to the library to read books. My father said that knowledge is power. That sentence was not said by your father. Lin Ke glanced at Mana again and said, what a philosophical statement. Then, the two books My Daily Life with My Brother-in-Law and The Domineering Earl and His Cat Butler must contain a lot of knowledge, right? Andrew's leg. Mana blurted out, similar to fuck. Did something happen? Exclamation mark. Magnus immediately became nervous and pretended to be relaxed. No, I don't know. What kind of book is this? I haven't heard of it. Humph, you are not allowed to publish any books under my name in the future. Do you understand? Lin Ke gently paused the lava scepter. You go back first. As you command. Magnus immediately merged into the ceiling, looking extremely flustered. Wait. Take the manuscript to Hong. Don't forget. Lin Ke reminded. Magnus came back and took the manuscript and then immediately went to find liquor. Not long after, along with Lin Ke's new book Robinson Crusoe, there was also a very popular book in the niche called Stranded on a Deserted Island, My Life with Muscle Friday, signed by a new author named Lava. Anyway, magma is also lava. Lin Ke didn't know these things, but started writing the next book. Father and Son. In the previous life, this was a novel written by the Russian writer Turgenev, and it was also his representative work. On the surface, this novel is about the generation gap between two generations, but in fact, it represents the ideological and cultural changes and influences caused by the reform of serfdom under the general environment at that time. Lin Ke changed it to the current environment. One represents the traditional Nassan aristocratic thought and culture, and the other represents the ideological and cultural reform led by Dahuang City. With these two as the main focus, Lin Ke began to write a new book, and it took him nearly 4 hours to finish this 200,000 word novel. Whether it is Notre Dame de Paris or Robinson Crusoe, whether it is Father and Son or The Old Man and the Sea. For Lin Ke, these creations are all to trigger the thinking of the citizens of Dahuang and give them enlightenment. Unlike the novels he created before, they were purely for fun and addiction, to pass the time, such as Snake Ring, which was created in the early days, to collect money from the nobles. That was purely a tool, to collect money from the nobles, and it was over after it was cool. Now, for Dahuang City, which is at the forefront of change and innovation, Lin Ke must come up with some works to trigger people's thinking about many changes. No matter what kind of thought, culture, or behavior people will choose in the end, it is at least the product of thinking, not the result of blindly following the crowd. So, Lin Ke continued to work hard and started writing the next book. A few days later, the 3 books were published at the same time. The abyss was in turmoil, and paper was in great demand in the wilderness. Chapter 581, Crazy Star Chasing Ladies. A certain layer of the abyss, Greenleaf Juice Bar. As the manager of the juice bar and the guide of the Scarlet Great Wasteland branch, Toledo actually lives a very satisfying life. However, he has always had a dream, which is to be transferred to the Greenleaf Juice Bar branch in the Great Wasteland City. Unfortunately, many Greenleaf Juice Bar managers have this dream. There is a saying about catching corrupt officials. If you pull them all out and chop them, there will definitely be some innocent people, but if you chop them one by one, there will definitely be some fish that slip through the net. The same is true for people who want to go to the Great Wasteland. In other words, there are too many managers who want to go to the Great Wasteland. Toledo has traveled to the Great Wasteland. In just 3 days, he felt that only 3 minutes had passed. Lord Greenleaf. Why can he watch movies, read novels, eat delicious food, listen to music, watch dramas, and other activities without repeating for 3 consecutive days and 2 nights? Exclamation mark. Even after 3 days, he wanted to catch up with the latest drama for the second time but failed. The wonder building called the Wonderful Land is not as large and magnificent as some landscapes on the mainland. but in terms of connotation, the buildings in the Great Wasteland City, the Great Library, the Arena, the Wonderful Land, the Great Mall and the Stadium all have their own merits. For example, in the Great Mall for trade, Toledo can spend all the gold coins he has saved over the years in one day. For example, in the stadium and the arena, after the magic was banned, he felt the long lost excitement from these competitions. For example, the Wonderful Land made him re-understand the true meaning of wonderful in the common language of Nassim. For example, the Great Library is a true holy land of human knowledge and culture. Almost all the books that exist in the human world in the books that do not exist in the human world are there. In short, Toledo likes the Great Wasteland City too much. And today, Toledo opened as usual, ready to usher in a peak of brunch. However, what he didn't expect was that he was blocked at the door by a bunch of women as soon as he opened. Damn it, do you have Mr. Lin Ke's latest book here? Toledo, give me 2 copies of your store's Robinson Crusoe. I'll pay a high price. You women are too presumptuous. That's my husband's book. Go to hell, you little slut. That's my brother's book. My brother only loves me. Manager. Do you have the picture book Stranded on a Desert Island? My Life with Muscle Friday. I want to read Father and Son. If you don't show it to me, I'll tell my dad. The women in front of him were tall, short, fat, thin, rich and poor, and their voices were getting louder and louder, like wolves fighting for fat meat. Toledo was stunned. But he was only stunned for a second, and the next second he caught the key information. The Duke of Lava published a new book. And from the words of these ladies, he could tell that the Duke of Lava had published more than one book. Andrew's leg. Toledo suddenly felt anxious. His Greenleaf juice bar didn't have Mr. Lin Ke's new book. This is impossible. Everyone knows that the relationship between Master Greenleaf and Duke Lava is very good. How could he not think of Greenleaf juice bar when he released the books? Could it be that Master Greenleaf and Duke Lava had a conflict and fell out? Impossible. In this case, the higher-ups should notify all juice bars to remove all of Lin Ke's books from the shelves, although that would significantly reduce the customer flow of the juice bars. That is, the problem in Dahuang City? Forgot about Greenleaf juice bar, a big customer all over the continent? Or, out of stock? Toledo instantly locked on this possibility, so he smiled and said calmly, "Ladies and gentlemen, please listen to me. Butler skill, bewitching, magic, amplification." In an instant, the scene became quiet, and dozens or hundreds of women, mixed with some butlers, servants, etc., all looked at Toledo quietly. "Everyone, why don't you go into the store and wait? I'm sure there are not many books of Lord Lin Ke in the entire abyss now. We don't have them in Greenleaf juice bar, and there must be very few other places." Toledo's words contained a strong sense of confidence. Seeing Toledo's confident expression, the onlookers became skeptical. If there is no Greenleaf juice bar, there are few other places. However, many people, especially the servants, believe it more. Because many servants were sent out early in the morning after their masters watched the morning news in the great wilderness, and they couldn't find any place selling Lin Ke's works, after walking through the entire layer of the abyss. However, I have sent people to the great wilderness city through the teleportation array. I bet that the first person to enter the customs will definitely be someone from our Greenleaf juice bar. Well, I, Toledo, just dare to bet, but there is no guarantee. But everyone present didn't have time to listen to these word games. Toledo, my wife wants 500 books each. Price is not a problem. Humph, are you going to buy so many to eat? My young master only wants one book. Toledo, do you know who my young master belongs to? When did the Scholar Duchess become a fan of my baby Lin Ke's books? You shameless vixen. Mrs. Ollie, please respect my wife. Toledo, how long will it take for the books to arrive? My master, the bloodthirsty Marquis, has given me a death order that I must return before the evening. Whether it was the servants or the noble ladies, or even the nobles themselves, they all made requests. Toledo was under great pressure, but on the surface he was extremely relaxed. "Everyone, please come in first. Sit for a while. I will send someone right away. No, I will go to the great wilderness to urge them myself." So, everyone believed Toledo, and stopped looking at other stores. They went straight into the Greenleaf juice bar. Toledo also returned to the store and immediately went to the Scarlet Great Wilderness branch space and found the person in charge here, a young clerk. Andrew's leg. Toledo, you're crazy. The young secretary exclaimed. I just received news this morning that all the paper in Dahuang City has been used up. It may take 2 days for Lord Lin Ke's book to be printed. Toledo gritted his teeth. But I made this performance, and my performance will definitely be the best in the abyss. I want to go to Dahuang City and take Xiao Modo and the others to live there. Hearing this, the young secretary was silent. He knew that Toledo had 2 daughters, but his wife had died when Toledo was young. Toledo lived in guilt for his wife and love for his daughters for the rest of his life. After seeing the safety and peace of Dahuang City, Toledo told him more than once after drinking that he would definitely send his daughter to Dahuang City. However, after sobering up, the words to the outside world became that Toledo wanted to go to Dahuang City because he was greedy for enjoyment. As a newly transferred secretary, he was taken care of by Toledo in many places, and the two became close friends because they didn't like juice but strong liquor. Seeing Toledo's expression, even though the secretary knew that Toledo was taking a risk, he also knew that he should pretend not to know and walk away. However, he hesitated for a moment and said, I have a way. Chapter 582, Grand Duke of Greenleaf. What solution? Toledo's eyes burst into amazing light. No. Toledo, why don't you consider applying for residency? Seeing the light in Toledo's eyes, the young clerk sighed. I can ask someone to help you take care of Xiao Modo and the others. My dear friend, you have to know that no matter how beautiful the flowers are, there will be shadows. Toledo shook his head. I'm worried without me around. Is Dahuang City good? Of course it is good. But Toledo doesn't believe that there is no underground and darkness in Dahuang City. Maybe those Dahuang high-level officials didn't report it. Maybe Lin Ke was too busy to deal with it. Or maybe there really is nothing. But no matter what, Toledo dared not gamble. He himself had worked his way up from the bottom, so he naturally knew how dark and dirty those people's methods were. Many times, there will be humanity and brilliance at the top, bottom and in the middle, but the places close to the top and bottom will be filled with shadows and darkness. Dahuang City is just a little, but it is impossible that there is no underground and darkness. This is Toledo's judgment. Okay. The young secretary nodded. I'll contact my colleagues to see if anyone has any unused benefits. But, as far as I know, once the noble ladies on this floor know that you have Lord Lin Ke's books here, perhaps even other floors will be alarmed. Toledo smiled confidently when he heard this. Have you heard of Mr. Lin Ke's term, hunger marketing? Unfortunately, 10 minutes later, Toledo was no longer confident. No. Still no. According to the secretary, 1 million books thrown into Nassang didn't even make a splash. However, the secretary also said that he could contact his friends and buy the latest books from Dahuang City in advance. But Toledo knew that he would definitely be too late. So he went to Dahuang City in person. Unfortunately, after searching everywhere and looking for acquaintances, Toledo didn't find any books until you seem to be Toledo? A young man called him not far away. Toledo, can you do me a favor? Toledo turned around. Then he almost thought that he was dazzled by the tulips of light. Isn't this young man Lin Ke? The powerful, great, and broad-minded lava duke? Exclamation mark. Lin. Your Highness Lin Ke. Toledo stuttered. Aye. Lin Ke was standing not far behind Toledo at this time, smiling. Don't be nervous, Mr. Toledo. I remember we met in the abyss. Well, I just need to talk to the Grand Duke of Greenleaf in detail recently. I wonder if you can do me a favor? Lin Ke smiled. Originally, he didn't know that Toledo was coming, but the news from the customs and the Scarlet Wilderness was reported by the Magma Dragon. Lin Ke was very busy today. The main reason was because of his 3 books. He just released the book and planned to use the live broadcast photo stone to promote it to avoid not being able to sell it. However, there was no need to promote it at all. In an instant, countless distributors, underwriters, and retailers in Assen were all happy. Which books sell best?
The people of Dahuang City, especially the Dahuang newspaper of Dahuang City, also work part-time as the Dahuang publishing house. The authors there, whether it is the famous Hang or a few others, all write books with a new, free, and special atmosphere. So, whose books sell the best? Not Hang, nor anyone else, but Lin Ke. There is no doubt that Lin Ke's books always sell the best. It even gave birth to the profession of book merchant, which was successfully transferred by a merchant, and used this profession to exchange some gold coins for Dahuang, and then used it to buy Lin Ke's books and sell them, making a lot of money. So, when Lin Ke's 3 new books came out, Dahuang City was flooded with orders. All kinds of merchant, all kinds of nobles all wanted to make a fortune from it. And most people, except them, couldn't wait to read and receive the baptism of their hearts and souls. It was at this time that John had to find Lin Ke and announce a very helpless fact. After searching the entire Dahuang plain and the lava territory, there was no enough material to make paper. Even if the daily paper needed in the great wilderness was taken away, it might just be enough. After all, many plain merchants might sell books to the secondary plain. So, Lin Ke thought of the Grand Duke of Greenleaf. Who is the Grand Duke of Greenleaf? The Greenleaf juice bars that are all over the world. All the raw materials come from the Grand Duke of Greenleaf's own secondary plain. Lin Ke heard from Earl Tulip that the Grand Duke of Greenleaf has many secondary plains under his command that are used to plant, cultivate, and discover new plants. What is needed to make paper? Plants, without a doubt. So, when Toledo came to the door, Lin Ke stopped him. After all, if he guessed correctly, Toledo must be in great need of his books now. Mr. Lava, what do you want me to do for you? Toledo calmed down a little at this time, and his tone contained respect. I would like to ask you to use your magic props that summon the Grand Duke of Greenleaf once a year, to help me summon the Grand Duke of Greenleaf. Lin Ke smiled. Summon the Grand Duke of Greenleaf! Exclamation mark. Toledo remained calm on the surface, but he was surprised in his heart. This is the secret of these store managers. It is also one of the secrets of the Greenleaf family. How did Lin Ke know it? But thinking of Lin Ke's identity, Toledo suddenly felt no surprise. Mr. Lin Ke, why me? Toledo asked softly. Because the store manager of the Great Wasteland Greenleaf Juice Bar has already summoned him, and as far as I know, you are the only one in the Great Wasteland who can summon the Grand Duke of Greenleaf. Lin Ke smiled and said, and I may also have something you want? What I want? Toledo couldn't help but raise his eyebrows slightly. Well, I have 10 collector's edition books, 10 copies each. Maybe I can sign my name on them? How about? Lin Ke still smiled. Deal. Before Lin Ke finished speaking, Toledo hurriedly said, I will summon my master right now. As he said that, Toledo immediately took out a slightly yellowed leaf from his arms. Well, let's change places. Lin Ke took out the lava scepter and paused lightly, and he and Toledo were immediately teleported to his home. Toledo immediately crushed the yellow leaves in his hand. Suddenly, Lin Ke felt a strong will trying to break through the defense line set up by Andrew in Dahuang City. There was a breath of vitality and endless life in it. So, Lin Ke released the restrictions and let that breath come. Grand Duke of Greenleaves. Chapter 583, The Mysteries of Sherlock Holmes. Lin Ke, hello. Grand Duke Greenleaf is a short, smiling old man, holding a small branch staff as thick and long as a baby's arm. With white hair and a youthful face, and a fluttering white beard, he looks like an old man who is easy to talk to, and has a good temper. In fact, all the information about Grand Duke Greenleaf and Nassan is the same. Kind, gentle, not competing with the world, likes flowers, plants, and trees, and runs a juice bar, etc. A kind old man. But if anyone thinks that Grand Duke Greenleaf is easy to bully, they may be very wrong. You know, plants need to be cultivated with fertilizer to be more beautiful. Your Excellency the Grand Duke as well. Lin Ke hammered his chest. Emperor Wumian said that Grand Duke Greenleaf is a trustworthy person like Grand Duke of Mountains. Grand Duke Greenleaf's sister is Lady Gardner, the third wife of Emperor Wumian, a powerful legend. However, at this time, Lin Ke sensed that Grand Duke Greenleaf's energy level was only level 25, and he was still a little confused.
Of course, it stands to reason that the 8 Grand Dukes are all at the legendary level, but since the Grand Duke of Deep Blue has revealed his master level, Lin Ke has become suspicious. At least the Grand Duke of Mountain and the Grand Duke of Deep Blue are both masters. The Grand Duke of Hurricane is also suspicious. If the Grand Duke of Greenleaf, the Grand Duke of Evil Eagle, the Grand Duke of Element, the Grand Duke of Thunder and the Grand Duke of Dragon all reveal their master level strength, Lin Ke probably won't be surprised. These Grand Dukes guard the borders or certain places, and it is indeed very likely that they are more than just legendary strength. Thinking of this, Lin Ke's expression became more respectful. Mr. Greenleaf, I asked Toledo to summon you this time to make a deal. Well, or, I want to ask you for help. Help. Lin Ke felt that the Grand Duke of Greenleaf really didn't lack anything. If he had to say it, what he lacked was promotion and strength, which Lin Ke couldn't give. So, it's better to say it's asking for help than trade or transaction. Help? My child, just say it directly. The Grand Duke of Greenleaf smiled and patted Lin Ke's thigh lightly. Grand Duke Greenleaf was only as tall as Lin Ke's thigh. Your Excellency, I think we need plants. Lots and lots of plants. A lot of plants. To make paper. Lin Ke said, lots and lots, a lot. It was also through this time that Lin Ke discovered the lack of some reserve resources in the Great Wasteland City. For example, reserve forests. There are countless trees in the lava swamp, but that is part of the ecological environment. Destroying the ecological environment will inevitably cause a series of impacts, such as biodiversity. You know, gene mutation is about probability, and probability is most obvious when it is in a certain number. The destruction of the ecological environment and the disappearance of some populations also mean the destruction of biodiversity. The destruction of biodiversity is equivalent to killing the conditions for the birth of some special and rare creatures in the future. Therefore, Lin Ke has always tried not to destroy the environment of the lava swamp. He regards the lava swamp as the source of the most abundant biological resources in the Great Wasteland City, and often sends people to explore it to find out if there are any plants that can be cultivated, or animals that can be domesticated. Although there is not always a harvest, the results are not bad. Therefore, the lava swamp must continue to be protected. Paper trees, no problem. Grand Duke Greenleaf smiled and said, my child, I will have someone send it over now. Just go find Little John, right? Yes, thank you very much, Lord Greenleaf. Lin Ke thanked sincerely. I wonder if there is anything in Dahuang City that can help you? He didn't know what Grand Duke Greenleaf needed. He always felt that Grand Duke Greenleaf didn't need anything. But since he helped Lin Ke with paper making, Lin Ke certainly wanted to repay him. After all, the debt of favor is the most difficult to repay. Problems that can be solved with money are not a problem. If possible, Lord Lin Ke, can you write more books? Grand Duke Greenleaf's voice was amiable. At the same time, he flipped his right hand and a book appeared, with the Old Man and the Sea written on it. I'm deeply fascinated by the world and life in these books. The children in countless worlds are also your fans. They are also looking forward to, and longing for your new books. Just like fish need water, and birds need insects, your books are our soul food. Grand Duke Greenleaf's tone was full of praise. I admire the justice and fraternity in Schindler's Heart, the unyielding struggle of Santiago against the big fish in the world, the kindness of Esmeralda and the bell ringer Quasimodo. Grand Duke Greenleaf was talking about Schindler, the protagonist of the movie Schindler's List, Santiago, the protagonist of The Old Man and the Sea, and the heroine and hero in The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Grand Duke Greenleaf also talked about Lin Ke's other books, even The Snake Ring from his early years. This made Lin Ke feel helpless and proud. The helplessness was because the original authors of these books were all the brilliant writers in his previous life, not him. The pride was because he was very proud to be born in such a world. I can say that I have noticed you for a long time, and I have watched the drama performances of your Azen Castle from afar. Grand Duke Greenleaf smiled and said, so for me, your books are my best gifts. Lin Ke nodded. I'm also proud that these works can be loved by you and read by your people. Let's put it this way, I have also published 3 books this time, and I promise that every time I publish a book in the future, I will definitely send you 100,000 copies first. Grand Duke Greenleaf's request is more like hoping that he updates more or adds more. But this is a positive thing for Lin Ke, and it is not a request. Grand Duke Greenleaf shook his head. No, just send me one book each time. My people can sense it from the leaves. Well, in fact, I only saw one book this time, and there is another one. I have it here. Lin Ke took out a brand new book from the space ring. The detective collection of Sherlock Holmes. This is Lin Ke's third book. Whether it is Dahuang City or other regions, homicides, thefts, rapes and other cases exist. Even if there are no such cases in Dahuang City at present, it is difficult for Lin Ke to guarantee that there will be no such cases in the future. Detective can give many people a new direction, that is, to become a professional detective. Of course, this can also be regarded as a logic enlightenment for everyone. After all, detective studies mostly require clear logical thinking and keen insight. Sherlock Holmes, detective stories? Grand Duke Greenleaf's eyes suddenly showed an amazing look, as if a cat saw the delicious catnip, and was immediately attracted. Grand Duke Greenleaf waved his hand impatiently, and the book in Lin Ke's hand floated over. Then, Grand Duke Greenleaf started reading on the spot. Chapter 584. Lin Ke's dominant book fan. Grand Duke Greenleaf was extremely fascinated. The moment he touched the book, Grand Duke Greenleaf's entire face became radiant. No, perhaps, gorgeous? Grand Duke Greenleaf's plants, that looked like branches, leaves, and vines grew one by one, dancing happily in the air. It can be seen that Grand Duke Greenleaf was in a very good mood, just like a person who was about to die of the sun in the desert drinking water, extremely happy. And as he read, his expression changed from time to time, sometimes puzzled, sometimes shocked, sometimes thinking, and sometimes suddenly realized. At the same time, a layer of warm and moist green wrapped Lin Ke and Toledo next to him. This is a domain, and it is definitely a master level. Lin Ke was instantly surprised, and at the same time, confirmed his inner guess. Grand Duke Greenleaf is indeed a master level. In this way, the 8 Grand Dukes should all be masters. Seeing that Grand Duke Greenleaf was immersed in reading, Lin Ke looked at Toledo. Toledo also looked relieved. He was actually very nervous. You can only summon the Grand Duke of Greenleaf once a year. In fact, what you summon is the projection of the Grand Duke of Greenleaf, or even the projection of his clone. This projection may not only be rescued in times of crisis, but more importantly, it can also be summoned at some critical moments. For example, at the critical moment of breakthrough, you can summon the Grand Duke of Greenleaf to protect you, or when you lack direction, you can summon the Grand Duke of Greenleaf to give you guidance. The annual summoning is the biggest benefit for the managers of Greenleaf juice bars. Toledo was not nervous about anything else, but he was afraid that, if the Grand Duke of Greenleaf could not help Lin Ke, he would feel guilty for taking the 30 books. At this time. This is my book. Wait a moment, I'll sign it. Lin Ke took out 30 books. He did have some in stock here, which he used to give to some close people. It was okay to give Toledo 30 books. He threw the 30 books upwards, then held them with an air pressure shield, took out a dark blue pen and started writing. He signed them quickly, and handed the books to Toledo. When collecting the books, Toledo's hands were shaking. Fortunately, he finally had these books, otherwise he might be complained by the angry nobles in that abyss, and even the families of the Marquis and Duke. At that time, let alone being transferred to Dahuang City, it might be difficult to keep the position of store manager. This is a gamble. Thank you. Toledo almost choked up, and his hands were shaking when he took the book. Thank you so much, Mr. Lin Ke. With his scheming, he shouldn't have been so excited, but his gains at this time were far more than these 30 books. He thought that he would succeed in making the Grand Duke of Greenleaf remember him this time. Standing out from the thousands of Greenleaf juice bar managers, and becoming the contact person between the Grand Duke of Greenleaf and Lin Ke. This is simply an opportunity. Not to mention, Toledo also knew Lin Ke, a real acquaintance. After all, he remembered Lin Ke's name, and Lin Ke seemed to remember his too. You're welcome. This is what you deserve, Mr. Toledo. Lin Ke patted Toledo on the shoulder. What do you think about these books? Although he was about a few hundred years younger than Toledo, it was normal for a man to have ambitions when he was old. Considering the people he was in contact with and his own strength, this was normal. Therefore, Lin Ke did not realize that he was patting Toledo on the shoulder as an elder or superior, and Toledo did not think there was anything wrong. I'm thinking about auction? Toledo's thoughts followed Lin Ke. Mr. Lin Ke's hunger marketing idea is simply the smooth road for us businessmen. Auction is good, but I have an idea, maybe you can consider it. Lin Ke smiled. Have you heard of raffles? You mean? Toledo's eyes lit up. Raffles. Every year, or every day, a huge amount of countless gold coins will flow into the pockets of the black and white royal family and Lin Ke. This is precisely from the lottery and raffles that are almost all over the continent. The knowledgeable, merchant, professionals can naturally see how profitable this thing is. However, the Black and White Kingdom prohibits the existence of brands other than the royal family. Except for the Everfrizz Council and the Holy Life Alliance, no matter where there is a city, there are actually more or less lotteries and draws. The official lottery rewards, and lottery rewards are also the largest, and the other underground lotteries and underground draws that survive in the dark are slightly smaller. But no matter what, the form of lottery, or gambling, is definitely one of the most attractive money-making activities. Inspired by Lin Ke, Toledo immediately thought, if I put Mr. Lin Ke's books in the form of a single lottery on the lottery turntable, and put in benefits such as a glass of juice and juice bar membership. In this way, not only can the customer's attention be diverted to the lottery, but also a promotional effect can be achieved for the juice bar. For example, a customer who wants to buy a book draws a glass of juice. It would be a waste if he doesn't drink it. He may drink it immediately. While drinking, he reads the book, but what if he sees that half of the juice is gone? Let's order another cup. It tastes pretty good. For example, if a customer comes here just to buy books and never drinks juice, but the lucky draw wheel turns to a half-year membership. Such a good thing, worth a lot of gold coins, a symbol of status, a discount. Wouldn't it be a waste if I don't drink it? For example. Toledo thought more and more, and he, who was already experienced, instantly associated many aspects, which were much better than a simple auction. After all, that was not an ordinary book, but a book with Lin Ke's magic signature. Even the two words Lin Ke signed on the book were written with magic power, with Lin Ke's breath. Toledo had no doubt that those abyss men and women with unique hobbies and unique ways of love could do something. Lin Ke knew from Toledo's eyes that Toledo must have thought of a better way, so he smiled and stopped reminding him. On the other side, the projection of the Grand Duke of Greenleaf standing in place seemed to have come to an end, and the original warm green field also changed and shrank towards the middle. It seems that Grand Duke Luai has finished reading it. Haha. Grand Duke Luai exhaled gently and smiled kindly. Excellent. Very wonderful. Or rather, absolutely wonderful. Thank you, Grand Duke. Lin Ke nodded slightly, accepting the compliment on behalf of the author in the previous life. Zyro Lin Ke, I wonder if you can write the next book faster? Well, if you are tired, I can use my life energy to support you for 10 years without sleep. I think I can also help you solve many of your troubles. You should spend your time writing books. Grand Duke Luai's kind face was full of words. Start a new book soon. Add more chapters soon. Suddenly, Lin Ke's smiling expression froze. Chapter 585. Book Spirit Sherlock Holmes. Your Excellency, I didn't know that you have been promoted to the master level before. This really shocked me. Haha, ha ha ha. Lin Ke scratched his head and tried to change the subject. Unexpectedly, the topic was really changed. Oh, you actually found out. It was really a mistake. Grand Duke Luai's tone was full of regret, but his face was still smiling, without any regret, and he continued, what a pity. If this is the case, it will be difficult for Wumian to order us to hide our strength. A smart child, like you will definitely guess it. Alas, it's all my fault. But fortunately, you are one of us. Grand Duke Luai spoke normally, his tone was unpredictable, but his expression was the image of a smiling old man. Oh my god. Oh my god. Lin Ke's pupils trembled, and he instantly understood what Grand Duke Luai meant. It turns out that the 8 Grand Dukes are really at the master level. Lin Ke was shocked. Although this was in line with his guess, he had to say that this was indeed a bold and terrible guess. 8 Grand Dukes. including Wumian, the five-colored dragon mother, and the moon goddess. There are 11 masters. Even if the Deep Blue Grand Duke rebelled, there are still 10 masters. 10 masters. The ordinary quantifier 10, when put together with the word master, actually has a soul-shaking effect. And the most important thing is that 8 of these 10 masters are human. You know, according to Lin Ke's understanding, there have never been so many legends in the history of the Black and White Kingdom since its founding. Even if they are added together, it is estimated that there are only a dozen. What's more, even if we look at the history of Nassang, the largest force does not exceed 10. In the mythological era, the Holy Life Alliance had a total of 5 masters who had already dominated Nassang and intimidated the stars in the sky. And now, of course, since you know it, you must not tell others. Grand Duke Greenleaf reminded again at this time. Lin Ke didn't know why, but thought of a picture. Before the Noble's review, Earl Tulip found him and told him a lot about the tricks of that Noble review. Before, he thought that it was the Emperor Wumian who accidentally told Grand Duke Greenleaf, and then Grand Duke Greenleaf also accidentally revealed the news to Count Tulip. But now it seems Grand Duke Greenleaf seems to be a big mouth. By the way, Lin Ke, Grand Duke Greenleaf's expression became hesitant and a little expectant. This old man was very kind, and Lin Ke thought he would not show any expression other than kindness. However, when Lin Ke saw the expression of Grand Duke Greenleaf, his face was still serious. Your Excellency, if you need help, please tell me directly. Lin Ke will do his best. Grand Duke Greenleaf can be said to have helped him a lot in both open and covered ways, and he naturally understood the meaning of a drop of water. However, he could foresee that the content that Grand Duke Greenleaf wanted to ask for help would definitely be very difficult. But he would try his best. Lin Ke, who was mentally prepared, put on a posture of listening attentively. Okay. Grand Duke Luai seemed to have made up his mind, so he said tentatively, as far as I know, Mr. Holmes is very wise and brilliant, so I think that this ending says that he has been confirmed dead. Lin Ke slowly typed on his head. Because you see, this case is actually full of weirdness, especially Mr. Holmes' behavior. His logical thinking should be the best in the world, and you see this chapter. Grand Duke Luai opened the book he had just read quickly, revealing the content of the last chapter, and began to tell Lin Ke about his judgment. Lin Ke had no choice but to start explaining to Grand Duke Luai. The detective cases of Sherlock Holmes can be said to be one of the most popular novels in the world in the previous life. The protagonist Sherlock Holmes has superb detective skills, which is the result of his continuous learning, research and practice. In the process of learning, he developed a habit of thinking well, and mastered the correct thinking method. Therefore, the various detectives he conducted were logical and reasonable, and his explanations and judgments on various cases were well reasoned, making it easy for people to accept and believe. Therefore, it has captured a large number of detective fans. But the ending is not so easy to accept. Whether it is investigating or escaping, the protagonist Sherlock Holmes and the villain Moriarty have declared that they are desperate. At the end of the detective collection, Holmes and Moriarty fought a desperate battle beside a waterfall, and finally both fell into the river and were buried in the bottomless abyss. This is the ending of Lin Ke, which uses the original ending of Conan Doyle, the author of the detective collection of Sherlock Holmes. However, since a large number of Holmes fans were unwilling to see the hero fall off the cliff and die, they put pressure on Conan Doyle. In the end, Holmes was resurrected by Conan Doyle's pen, and Watson met his old friend in the case of the empty house. But in this life, Lin Ke is not going to change the ending. Instead, at the end, there is a sentence in the writer's words. Is Holmes really dead? This is an open ending, and in the last case, Lin Ke also changed some of the writing styles, making the words and plots that were obviously desperate and the ending confusing. So at this time, Grand Duke Luai is not an angry book fan, but a curious book fan. Did Holmes die in the end? There are 1,000 Hamlets in the hearts of 1,000 people. Everyone has their own opinions on the ending, and Lin Ke will not interfere too much, so he discussed it with Grand Duke Luai, and then stopped discussing it. Grand Duke Luai's consciousness projection also left, and at the same time, Grand Duke Luai's people also contacted John to deal with the problem of paper materials, and Toledo also returned with a full load and Lin Ke looked at a figure beside him. Holmes? Lin Ke looked at the young man in front of him, a little surprised. You are the book spirit of the detective collection of Sherlock Holmes? The detective collection of Sherlock Holmes actually produced a book spirit? This is a low probability event. Some legendary magic items cannot give birth to souls. For example, Lin Ke's thunder wrist ball had a weak spirituality when it was first born, but it still cannot give birth to a soul. The same is true for the natural tree Lalita. It is estimated that it took countless years of accumulation to finally form the young and ignorant consciousness of Lalita. Therefore, the adventures of Sherlock Holmes can actually give birth to a book spirit, which really surprised Lin Ke. Dear Master, strictly speaking, I may not be a book spirit. Well, maybe I should be considered a wisp of consciousness born from this book. But if you say it is a book spirit, then it is not wrong. Chapter 586, The Magic Tower of the School of Mathematics. The consciousness born in the book means that your soul is not complete, right? Lin Ke asked. Yes, respected master. The book spirit Holmes bowed. I need to witness a large number of cases to complete my soul, restore my logical thinking, and become a real book spirit. A large number of cases. Lin Ke thought for a moment and said, okay, I know. He took out the lava staff and paused at the ground. Suddenly, the soul of the magma dragon Magnus emerged. As soon as it came out, it looked at the book spirit Holmes with curiosity. Another soul? Why do you say again? Lin Ke raised his eyebrows. Is it born in someone else's place? Yes. Just 2 days ago, there was an additional spirit on the Yale chessboard. Magnus said, that's a soldier. I went to see it. It's the Cross River soldier in chess. Magnus knew chess and had played chess, so he naturally knew how powerful the Cross River soldier was. Crossing the river? Lin Ke nodded slightly. It seems that Yale is also nurturing his chessboard day and night. Not bad. That's right. That's your stuff. Yale plays with it day and night and can't let it go. Magnus praised. But when the words came out of Magnus' mouth, Lin Ke suddenly felt that the taste was a bit wrong. What do you mean by my stuff? What do you mean by playing with it day and night? This Magnus has integrated into modern society very well. Okay, let's not talk about other things. You take Holmes to Judge Diana. I believe she can help Holmes grow well. Holmes, you will do your best to assist Diana when the time comes. She has countless cases there. I hope you can be her helper. Lin Ke instructed Magnus and Holmes. Diana formed her group of judges and lawyers, but Lin Ke always used this kind of talent for multiple purposes. For example, the case team of the police station was often handled by Diana's subordinates. Professional police, professional, criminal police, is to deal with these large and small cases. Handing Holmes to Diana, Diana can use it for criminal cases or trials. Yes, master. Okay, Lord Lin Ke. Magnus immediately took Holmes and the original manuscript of the detective collection of Sherlock Holmes down. Then Lin Ke left the principal's office and started other activities. Writing books, painting, singing, composing music, sculpture. Lin Ke would take turns every day. Riding a bike to charge and temper his body is also his only way. His body is slowly strengthening like a magic weapon in repeated training. This reminded Lin Ke of some fairy tale novels in his previous life, similar to refining his body into an extremely hard fairy weapon. He seems to be growing in this direction now, and his body is becoming holy. In this way, 3 months have passed. Andrew's leg, hurry up. Hurry up. Those disgusting snake beasts again. Gabriel. Come on. Who else has skills? That's an agate star worm. Under the plane where a certain college of Dahuang University is located, a passage quietly formed. On one side of the passage are the teachers and students of the Mathematics College of Dahuang University, and on the other side are densely packed void star beasts and star beasts. However, these void star beasts and star beasts have certain level restrictions, all below level 15. Even so, the huge number still gives people a strong pressure. These void star beasts and star beasts rushed forward in a mighty manner, and then were blocked by 6 magic towers. The 6 magic towers were arranged in an isosceles triangle shape. The first tower, which is also the tallest tower, stood in the front, and the second to 5th towers followed closely and were arranged on the left and right, and the 6th tower was directly behind the first tower. The beast tide was like a torrent. When it encountered the first tower, it was split into two paths, and then split layer by layer to the last tower, and was killed in front of the last tower. The magic fluctuations of the first tower were also the most intense. Only teachers and students above level 15 can stand guard in the first tower. To be precise, there are only teachers here, no students. In other towers, there are more students. In addition to students, there are all kinds of medical staff, garrison personnel, and some students from other colleges. At this time, Risha was stationed here in the last tower, with one of their teachers and most of the students who have become mathematicians. Only those above level 5 can enter this area. Each college has an area. Every Friday is the tower guarding time of the Great Wilderness University. Each college needs to go to the underground passage to guard the Star Realm virtual beasts and void star beasts swarming from all directions of the Great Wilderness Plain. Every time one is released, there will be a corresponding ranking list of the number of colleges released. There is no doubt that the ranking is based on the number of star beasts and void beasts that each college has let go. The first place is undoubtedly the most shameful. In addition, there are the rankings of the number of kills by the college, the number of utilization by the college, and the number of tamed, captured alive, by the college. The corresponding ones are students of various majors, such as the utilization rate of star beasts and void beasts. You should know that the bodies of these two have very rare materials. For example, for some students majoring in beast taming, taming star beasts and void beasts is more useful than ordinary magic beasts, although it is difficult. At this time, the ranking displayed on the college student bracelet in everyone's hand can be seen. In the ranking of the number of escapes, the mathematics college ranks first. Risha. Come on, let's have a big one. Risha was looking at the light and shadow displayed on the bracelet. He felt very unwilling. He heard others shouting, and immediately gritted his teeth and stood up. In front of him was an endless tide of beasts. Students stood on the high tower and used skills to the people below, and some sporadic professional guards were holding their positions below. Of course, there were no level 15 students who could make it to their last tower, but there were countless level 10 students. There were only a few students around level 10, and they were all descendants of nobles. Otherwise, how could they have made such rapid progress in just a few months after entering school? Most students had barely reached level 5, and they were exhausted after using a few skills. There were also 2 level 15 teachers who were at the same level as Risha, and the one called Risha at this time was one of them. Okay, Risha responded and immediately released a skill towards the endless beast tide below after standing up. Mathematician skill. A symbol emitting infinite white light appeared above Risha's head, sending fan-shaped waves towards the endless beast tide below. Under this wave, the heads of the Star Realm virtual beasts and void star beasts exploded one after another, and then were submerged in the large army that continued to advance. After one shot, Risha's face turned pale, and he wanted to squeeze more magic power from the soul space, but there was not a drop left. At this moment, a warm and cold voice sounded behind them. Mathematics. I should contribute. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 587 Mathematical Warrior Laplace. Risha turned around and saw a handsome young man with silver hair coming up from below. He felt that the young man looked very familiar, but he couldn't remember him for a moment and felt a little dizzy. Gabriel hurriedly came forward to support Risha. Of course, Gabriel himself was also very weak, but now he is estimated to have recovered faster than Risha has recovered. The other person immediately called out the name of the handsome guy in front of him. Laplace. You are finally here. Little Naomi Soraka's voice was full of fatigue and relief, and a little joy. This handsome guy is Laplace, one of Lin Ke's earliest followers. He has the blood of the Bingshang family in his body. He is the only son of the Bingshang Marquis, a powerful 16th level mathematician, and also a mathematics knight, in charge of various research laboratories in the Great Wilderness Tower of the Great Wilderness City. The most important thing is that Laplace is still considered Lin Ke's disciple. Of course, strictly speaking, Laplace is not Lin Ke's real disciple, but can only be regarded as a student and follower in mathematics. But no matter what, the power held by Laplace and his own talent and strength make him a hot figure that all major forces are competing for. In addition, his ice blood makes his temperament and appearance very outstanding, making him the dream lover of many girls. Gabriel's heart is on someone, and Rasha is a little familiar with Laplace, but he didn't recognize him. Only Zio Naomi is familiar with Laplace, because Laplace was the one who helped her do her homework when she was a child, especially math homework. And this handsome brother also made her interested in math, so she finally entered the School of Mathematics. Therefore, Zio Naomi and Laplace are still very familiar with each other. Zio Naomi. Laplace nodded and smiled slightly, then looked to the other side. The genius of the School of Mathematics, Rasha, the president of the student union of the school. Laplace and Rasha exchanged glances for a moment, and then separated. I used to be a math genius. Laplace seemed to have thought of something, smiled, then walked forward, came to the edge of the tower, and looked outside. I'll do my part too. I can't let the School of Mathematics be the last, can I? Laplace stood at the window of the turret, then pointed down from a distance. His voice sounded like a god. Link's formula. In an instant, a string of complex symbols spread out from Laplace's body, forming a ring that wrapped around Laplace's body and kept spinning. Link's formula! Exclamation mark. Everyone present was slightly shocked. In the field of mathematics, they seemed to have never heard of the Link's formula. Is this a new formula? So everyone looked at it carefully. ABF, X, dx equals F, B, F, equals F, X, vertical bar ab. What is this? Rasha was shocked. At first glance, this should be some kind of function, but what does it represent? At this moment, a continuous stream of powerful mental power waves emanated from Laplace's body. Those waves continued to expand, contract, and explode, causing a large number of casualties in the beast tide. It actually blocked about 80% of the beast tide attacks at once. Moreover, Laplace's attack momentum continued. Just relying on this formula, it actually transformed into an attack that was many times stronger than Laplace's own mental power. What kind of formula is this? Did Principal Lin Ke come up with a new formula? I really want to learn it. The principal is too busy. When he has time, he teaches open classes in other colleges. Alas, when will it be our turn? The students talked about it while recovering their magic power and continuing to watch Laplace's performance. And Rasha was thoughtful, and he was actually thinking about the meaning of this Lin Ke formula on the spot. But he couldn't even understand the meaning of some symbols, so he could only ask later. 4-quadrant coordinate system. Link's formula. Laplace was worthy of being a mathematical genius. At this time, he used the skills of mathematician very smoothly, flexibly, and powerfully, and his magic reserve was also very terrifying. With the addition of Laplace, the pressure on everyone to defend the tower suddenly decreased. Moreover, just when everyone estimated that Laplace had run out of magic, they saw Laplace jump down from the window. You know, the magic power of the window is a barrier that can protect them from harm. As a weak mathematician, the most important thing to do is to be a turret mage under the protection of the tower, specializing in mental attacks. But Laplace actually jumped down. And just after jumping down, Laplace's body bloomed with new magic brilliance. Triangle protection. Laplace exclaimed, and then his body was surrounded by layers of hard and shining lines. Triangles are stable. A student instantly understood the origin of Laplace's skill. Those triangular lines were like colorful wires. There were 16 triangles from head to toe, surrounding Laplace's body, with the sharp parts facing outwards. At the same time, 2 triangular light bars with very small sharp angles appeared in Laplace's hands. Golden section. Laplace shouted softly, and the 2 triangles in his hands slashed at the virtual beasts that attacked, and then directly turned the bodies of these virtual beasts into pieces of flesh and blood. Mathematician skill. Triangle guard. Mathematician skill. Golden section. Just 2 skills, 1 attack and 1 defense, made Laplace a brave warrior, coming and going freely in the beast tide, killing all around. In the end, Laplace fought for nearly 2 hours before finally flying back to rest. After resting for half an hour, he went out to fight in close combat again. Until the evening, the number of people released by the School of Mathematics was still the largest, but the gap with the previous one was not that big. The School of Economics only let go about 100 fewer than the School of Mathematics, and that was the result of a huge score gap in the early stages. Many exhausted students from the School of Mathematics were lying, sitting, and resting on the tower, but they couldn't stop glancing at Laplace. Mathematicians are also different from mathematicians. Some mathematicians are good at functions, some are good at sets, some are good at mathematical analysis, and so on. But for some basic knowledge, they are basically common, especially elementary and middle school knowledge. And the skills that Laplace just used, except for the link formula, are basically elementary and middle school mathematics knowledge. But the power is much stronger than everyone imagined. Especially when he jumped down to fight hand to hand, it really blinded everyone's eyes. Mathematician can actually fight in close combat? Exclamation mark. Finally, someone couldn't help but ask, Mr. Laplace, can you tell us? Chapter 588 Little Naomi has learned bad things. Answer. Laplace was sitting on the ground resting to recover his magic power. He smiled and said, if it's to solve the battle problem, it's not a difficult problem. It's just that you have to learn and apply it flexibly. If you want me to solve the latest research formula of teacher Lin Ke, then you will know it in the open class in a few days. What? There will be an open class of Lin Ke in a few days? It's their mathematics school? Many students were stunned. Lin Ke's open class, finally it's their mathematics school's turn. Although they were exhausted, they still looked excited. In their hearts, although Lin Ke may not be as good as professors like Juliu in terms of level and mathematical knowledge, and no more, but Lin Ke is famous. Lin Ke is handsome. He is simply at the level of a super idol. Just like in the previous life, no matter how good the old professors of the art academy are at teaching, they are probably not as famous as some traffic stars. Moreover, in the hearts of all the students of the mathematics school, Lin Ke has more mathematical knowledge. You should know that the dean of their mathematics school, Juliu, was inspired by Lin Ke and came up with a mathematical system with Lin Ke. There are even countless little math stories about Lin Ke. For example, Lin Ke was hit by an apple under a tree and then thought of the circle cutting method and infinite non-repeating decimals. It can be said that, although these little stories are nonsensical, they add some legendary color to Lin Ke. Learn to apply. Thank you Mr. Laplace for your answer. Risha pounded his chest. Finally, everyone went out of the tower together, and under the escort and guidance of the guards, they walked through a long bloody and law-shaking journey before finally seeing the light of day. Out. It was night, and the cool breeze was blowing. Not far in front of them were the deans of the School of Mathematics, including Juliu, who were also exhausted. Seeing the last group of people, that is, Risha and others coming out, Juliu immediately said loudly, everyone in the School of Mathematics, everyone did a great job in today's guard battle. After saying this, she took the lead in applauding. So everyone started to applaud. Of course, some teachers and students also felt regretful. You know, in the list they call the shame ranking, their mathematics school ranks first. Shame. Who wouldn't be angry if they have a bit of blood? It's just that the people in their mathematics school are really not good at fighting. Our mathematics school has always been ranked at the bottom, so you don't need to be sad. The Great Flow River smiled. Besides, today, Mr. Laplace has also opened a new world for us, hasn't he? The Great Flow River looked at Laplace, and some people who didn't know Laplace was coming also looked over at once. Laplace, who has the characteristics of the ice family, smiled handsomely and said nothing. This week, we have made progress compared to last week, and we also have a new warrior path to choose. This is something worth celebrating, so please enjoy yourself during the weekend. After the Great Flow River finished the routine summary of the weekly defense battle, he left with other teachers. Laplace didn't stay for long, but the students gathered in groups of 3 or 5 to discuss. Oh, damn, I really want to learn that skill. Walking on the road, little Naomi Soraka said angrily, Laplace runs too fast. You can ask your brother to teach you. Risha next to him said as a matter of course, Laplace is your brother's follower, right? You don't understand. Little Naomi must not want to rely on her brother, right? Gabriel took little Naomi's arm, and they seemed to have a good relationship. What we hate most is that others always say, how is your brother? How is your father? This kind of thing. We hate it the most. That's right. Little Naomi nodded. Her two good friends knew that Lin Ke was her brother, but others didn't know. This was a secret she kept. She didn't want to be harassed by others at any time. But it's a waste if you don't use your brother's resources. Risha was a little puzzled. He had to use all the resources around him to obtain tools to learn mathematics since he was a child, and he felt that his parents and brother were his relatives, and it was natural to use their resources. Oh, Risha, you don't understand. Little Naomi said helplessly. You have such a good personality. In your eyes, as long as you can learn math, anything else is fine, but we still care about what others say. Yes, yes. When you are not good, others say, look at you, your brother is so powerful, but you are so weak. What will you think? If you become stronger, others will say, oh, you are really like your brother, as good as your brother. What will you think? Gabrielle curled her lips. It seems that she also has a brother who is better than her. I feel very happy. Risha said as a matter of course. I have a brother who is better than me, so can't I learn math better? So, you straight man. Zyro Naomi rolled his eyes. I'm too lazy to talk to you. Then he looked at Gabrielle. Sister, your taste is quite unique. You actually like wood. Gabrielle blushed. What are you talking about? Shut up. Risha didn't understand. What are you talking about? Gabrielle, you like to eat wood. How do you eat wood? She hasn't eaten it yet. Zyro Naomi smiled evilly and glanced at Gabrielle. She is just a theoretical expert and has not practiced it yet. Hey, Soraka. I want to duel with you. Come on, let's duel on the bed. Soraka. You little fairy, who did you learn from? What fairy? I learned it from the tree shepherd. What? Do you want to learn it together? Including my brother? The four of us? Zyro Naomi and Gabrielle were laughing and joking there. Risha didn't understand why, but after hearing the key words, she joined in and said, are you going to learn from Mr. Lin Ke? Can you take me with you? Oh. Zyro Naomi was surprised. 5 people. As expected. This little slut definitely doesn't like wood. Damn Soraka. Rectangular coordinate system. Parabola equation. So the 3 of them went back to the dormitory while playing, not knowing that someone was watching them from high in the sky. Is this what you taught? Lin Ke looked at Lika next to him with a sullen face. Oh, Lalita, the sun is so nice tonight. Yes, yes, yes. By the way, was the new movie you watched at the Coliseum yesterday good? Of course. The taste of that book is very nice. By the way, your dress should be made of beetle bread, right? Lika and Lalita next to them started chatting, and their chat was irrelevant and irrelevant. Lin Ke was speechless. All his followers, as long as they were female, were bad. Forget it, I can't care, I'm too lazy to care. Lin Ke looked to the other side. Have you found the buyer and seller? Yes, sir. Hishan nodded. There are many buyers for the primary processed materials of Void Star Beasts and Star Elm Void Beasts, and there are even more buyers for finished products. However, there are also nobles who want to join in. You see, I eat meat, and they drink soup. Haha. Chapter 589, a race that can absorb radioactive element. Now, the nobles of the Black and White Kingdom have very simple ideas. If you want to make money, just look at what Lin Ke is doing, especially what new things are in the big shopping malls, and make and sell whatever is available. Before, when the Great Wilderness Plain was just isolated by the Deep Blue Grand Duke, Andrew helped him clean up the invading Void Star Beasts and Star Elm Void Beasts. But there was still a passage left. After all, for Nassang, it is too troublesome to capture these Void Star Beasts and Star Elm Void Beasts, and it is also troublesome to make them. But since Lin Ke has a channel, why not cooperate? Those who have cooperated with us and are friendly, including the giant sword, can cooperate, and forget about the others. Lin Ke waved his hand. By the way, remember to identify those who are too close to the Deep Blue Grand Duke. Remember to investigate and analyze them carefully. Okay. Black Mountain nodded. Lin Ke looked at Granny Zase again. Granny Zase, how is your research going? Granny Zase said before that she could make a nuclear bomb. That's a nuclear bomb. 2 more months. Lord Lin Ke. Granny Zase patted her chest, then glanced down again. But, there is really no uranium here. So, we still have to go to the Holy Life Alliance to look for it? Lin Ke sighed. That's right. Lord Lin Ke. Granny Zase patted her chest again, looking confident. Everything is ready. Once the uranium mine arrives, it will explode the next day. Lin Ke fell into deep thought. Granny Zase told him before that uranium mines were detected in the Holy Life Alliance because the Celtic Firecat tribe they used uranium mines to enhance their strength. Lin Ke couldn't figure it out either. Maybe the situation in Nassen was different? Carbon-based life uses radioactivity to grow. What if the Celtic cat people give birth to 1 or 2 legends? Wouldn't it be like swallowing a nuclear bomb directly? Moreover, the Holy Life Alliance had not discovered how excellent and rare this ability to absorb radioactivity was. If he could bring this tribe under his command. I was so busy that I forgot. By the way, how is the reception of the fox people that John arranged to take in going? Lin Ke had something in mind, so he began to ask about other things. Seeing this, several followers also began to report. Black Mountain said, the supply of commodities and bulk materials has been in place, and the supply of 2,352 Fox People demonstration communities is good. Granny Zase said, the water supply is particularly good. Granny, I have also recruited many people to join the chemical research laboratory. By the way, Lord Lin Ke, they are all considered as regular employees, right? Do I get any commission? Yale said, in terms of the military, Babing has adapted well and has begun to integrate the magic pattern with the professional system. Many Fox people are very suitable for the staff profession. Diana said, the popularization of law has been going on for 2 months, and the progress of various pilot projects of the Fox people is good, but the problem of illiteracy still needs to be paid attention to. Lalita also nodded. The agility of the Fox people is much better than that of us humans, and they are suitable for use as assassins and scouts. Nix. However, the Fox people are more sensitive in their hands and feet, so I think they are more suitable for use as nurses and doctors. The followers reported one by one, and Lin Ke also raised some questions and opinions from time to time to deal with recent matters. There are many things in Dahuang City, and Lin Ke cannot do them all by himself. Fortunately, in the past 10 or 20 years, his original followers have become independent. Even Yale, a little kid who became his follower because of participating in a chess competition, has now become a strong man. Thanks to the support of his followers, Lin Ke can also delegate power to them and pursue his own way to become powerful. He only needs to control the strategy and general direction. However, although the followers are absolutely loyal to him, each follower will have his own thoughts without betraying him. After all, followers are not machines. Everyone has relatives and selfishness. Therefore, Lin Ke also needs to balance the many followers and his subordinates to avoid alienation. Okay, let's stop here. Remember to urge the deans of each college. The midterm exam will be held soon. I hope you can give us a surprise. Lin Ke said, and looked at Granny Zase. Granny Zase, follow me to the Celtic Firecat tribe to find the mineral deposits. By the way, do you need to bring teacher AOF with you? Why bring him with you? Granny Zase said in surprise. He is making a lot of money to buy a pension now. I remember that our law has a policy for the partner to receive money after the widowhood. When he dies, the money will be mine. It's a waste of time to go out with me. Lin Ke. Followers. Damn it. Did you say something that shouldn't be said? Hey. Lin Ke was speechless. After so many years, Granny Zase still has money in her heart. Then let's go. Lin Ke waved his hand to prevent Granny Zase from saying anything shocking again. So Granny Zase hummed a little song and flew to the direction of the teleportation array with Lin Ke, while the others returned to their posts one by one. It stands to reason that in the first 10 years, the Great Wasteland City should have grown from its infancy to its peak, and then began to maintain stability or decline. However, after so many years, the Great Wasteland City is still in its rising period, and it seems that this momentum is still far from the peak, so the followers have been tired and happy. Having already had a trip experience with the Holy Life Alliance and obtained a rough map from the Black Rabbit, Lin Ke is no longer so unfamiliar with the Holy Life Alliance. However, just as he was about to follow Granny's into the teleportation array, he sensed a familiar legendary aura appearing in the Great Wasteland Plain. Is Nyx's mother here? Lin Ke raised his eyebrows and said to Granny's, let's go and see. The Black Rabbit Samarakiya, that is, Nyx's mother, is here. After Nyx recognized his mother, the exchanges between the two sides became closer and closer. The Black Rabbit tribe, the Axe-Tooth tribe of the Minotaur, and another Minotaur tribe. All three tribes have established the Great Wasteland City teleportation array and closely traded rabbit hair and bezoar. Of course, the downside is that the Holy Life Alliance sent people similar to inspectors to conduct trade inspections and tax collection activities, but it was harmless. The Black Rabbit Samarakiya also bought a single family apartment not far from Nyx and Lalita's house, and came to accompany Nyx to make up for her lack of maternal love. However, Lin Ke felt that Samarakiya's breath was a little unstable at this time, which seemed to be a sign of breakthrough or injury. Injured? Lin Ke took Granny's and teleported directly to Nyx's house. As he became more familiar with the lava scepter, he knew more and more things he could do in the lava territory, and he could easily teleport, which only legends could do. When he teleported to the door of Nyx's house, he saw the Black Rabbit Samarakiya standing in front of the door, looking excited. Not injured? That means a breakthrough? Chapter 590 Secretly infiltrate the Holy Life Alliance. Lin Ke, I have a new understanding of the law of confinement. The Black Rabbit Samarakiya had a gentle face, looking at Lin Ke as kindly as if he were looking at his own son. This time, I came here to tell Nyx the good news. Samarakiya came here every day, whether she had something to do or not, and found all kinds of reasons, such as making a pot of delicious carrots, making a set of clothes. In short, she came to see her son in various ways, and those reasons were finally translated into one sentence: I miss my son. Okay. Lin Ke nodded. I sensed that your breath was unstable, and I thought you were injured, so I came to see you. Samarakiya was able to break through, and the strength of the Great Wasteland City could also be improved. This is a good thing. Aunt Samarakiya, if you need anything, just let Nyx get it. All the resources of the Great Wasteland City are at your disposal. Lin Ke was very generous in this regard. It was normal to use resources in order to win over the strategic deterrence of legends. Thank you very much, but no need. Samarakiya was also very polite. However, as the leader of a large tribe equivalent to a giant human city, Samarakiya naturally has no shortage of resources. Of course, it is still a little worse than the Great Wilderness City. Okay, then I have something to go out first. Lin Ke was about to say goodbye, but remembered Samarakiya's identity and asked again, by the way, auntie, do you know the Celtic Firecat tribe? Celtic Firecat tribe? Samarakiya thought for a while, then shook her head. Sorry, I haven't heard of it. Is there anything? I can go and check it for you. Samarakiya has never heard of it, which means that the Celtic Firecat tribe is not a large tribe, which is consistent with Lin Ke's investigation. Nothing. Lin Ke smiled. Then we will leave first, auntie. If Samarakiya knows, it's okay. Maybe he can make a connection. But if Samarakiya doesn't know anyone, it's better for him to go directly, to save trouble for others. After saying goodbye to Samarakiya, Lin Ke and Granny Zise went to the Holy Life Alliance. However, this time, he couldn't go through the teleportation array of the Tauran tribe and the Black Rabbit tribe. After all, there were many people watching there. Moreover, the Rat Lord of the Holy Life Alliance has also sent some gods and legends to patrol the border, to prevent people from the Black and White Kingdom from entering illegally. Obviously, this was scared by the last Gandalf the White captures god incident. The gods of the Holy Life Alliance are equivalent to nuclear weapons. Even the number of existences of level 21 and above in a force directly proves whether the force is strong or not. The four superpowers, the Holy Life Alliance, the Black and White Kingdom, the Everfresh Council, and the Ocean of Stars and Waves, the top of these four forces are all masters. And the top of the countless other small forces that survive in the cracks are legends and gods. For example, a lot of small forces in the far west must have at least one existence above level 21, otherwise they can't survive at all. The stronger ones, like the forest cabin, have more than one legend and god. On the other hand, there are some small and insignificant forces, such as the southern kingdoms, which used to be further south of the lava swamp. There is no one above level 21, and some small islands in the ocean are even weaker than the other. Therefore, the capture of the gods of the Black and White Kingdom is basically equivalent to the capture of a nuclear warhead. By the way, the creation race of this nuclear warhead was also captured. This incident caused an uproar in the Black and White Kingdom, and the same was true in the Holy Life Alliance. However, there are also subtle differences. The difference is that everyone in the Black and White Kingdom is speculating who the White Robe Gandalf under the Sleepless Emperor is, and which secondary plane this human is from, and how powerful he is. The people of the Holy Life Alliance are all laughing at the Fox people and the Fox people's tribes. They don't have a sense of noble honor, they only fight for their own tribes, so when they hear that the Fox people are so cowardly, they just feel funny and spit on them. Of course, this is the case for the lower class, but it is probably not so acceptable to the Ratman Lord and the Sun God. These two have great ambitions. Therefore, not long after the Foxman incident, they reasonably and legally sent their people to patrol the land and border of the Holy Life Alliance, claiming to be searching for some criminals. But the actual meaning is to prevent such things from happening again. Of course, if the lords such as the Woomian Emperor want to come, they probably can't stop them. So, you have to hide well. This time we follow the trade team of the Duke of Black Forest into the Holy Life Alliance. Lin Ke warned Granny Zisay next to him, "You keep that artifact. Well, if it is damaged or lost, I will deduct your salary. No, even if it is 1 centimeter away from your body, I will deduct it." In order to prevent Granny Zisay's aura from being too strong and being discovered, Lin Ke specially selected an artifact from the treasure house of the artifacts of the gods of Phaser for Granny Zisay, which can hide the aura. The things of the gods of Phaser are Lin Ke's own. Just pick whatever you want. After all, if Lin Ke keeps using his own skills, it is inevitable that there will be fluctuations, and it will be bad if he is discovered. As for the artifact, as long as it is well hidden, the artifact will not explode and fluctuate at any time. No problem. Granny Zisay nodded, then carefully grasped the necklace around her neck. "Even if you die, I won't take it off." What a strange metaphor. Lin Ke was powerless to complain. "Okay, let's go." Lin Ke patted Granny Zisay's shoulder and looked at the caravan in front. The Duke of the Black Forest is a lord around the territory of the Grand Duke of the Mountains. It is said that he is the maternal clan of the Grand Duke of the Mountain's wife and has very close contacts with the Mountain family. At this time, Lin Ke and Granny Zisay joined the trade between the Duke of the Black Forest and a certain otter tribe on the border, mainly timber trade. "My lord, my master has ordered that you just be a guard next to you. Well, if possible, a level 1 strength would be fine." On the other side of the caravan, a man who looked like a steward came over and said to Lin Ke. The Duke of the Black Forest certainly concealed the identities of Lin Ke and Granny Zisay, so this steward did not know Lin Ke's identity, and no one else knew it either. Even all the other guards were newly recruited, and no one knew each other. It can be said that it was hidden very well. "Thank you. As for her, let her be your personal maid, personal nanny." Lin Ke pointed at Granny Zisay. The steward took a look at Granny Zisay's face full of wrinkles like a chrysanthemum, and recalled the original maid's petite and lovely appearance. He sighed inwardly, but smiled on the surface and said, "It's an honor." Lin Ke, who was dressed in guard uniform, nodded and was about to join the team, when he heard an extremely arrogant voice. "Damn it. Don't these guards have eyes? I don't want my feet to touch the ground. Get over here." Chapter 591 finally arrived at the Celtic Firecat tribe. What an arrogant voice. Lin Ke and the others turned around immediately. They saw a reindeer-drawn cart parked in front of the camp. The reindeer-drawn cart was very large, but it seemed that there was only one person stuffed inside. "Where is the person? Bolt and Goo, quickly send a guard to come to me." The voice sounded very sharp and harsh, as if a man was pinching his throat to speak. And Lin Ke also sensed the level of the person inside. Level 3, charming beauty. That's not all. The person inside seemed to be very fat, and there were layers of fat on the head that was stretched out from the chin to the collarbone. Does this person have pigment blood? Lin Ke couldn't help comparing this person with Hishan in his heart, but Hishan was better in comparison. Although he had the blood of wild boar people, he didn't have a single bit of fat on his body. It was all strong meat, that is, 3-line meat with muscle and fat well matched. But the person in front of him obviously had very little muscle, but was mostly fat. The Duke of the Black Forest should have informed this person. Lin Ke's current identity is a guard, and he is afraid that this woman will provoke him. However, the caravan manager also knows that Lin Ke cannot be moved, but it seems that he cannot provoke that fat woman, so he hurriedly asks other guards to pick up. Lin Ke searched his memory, but he couldn't think of who this woman was, so he told Granny Zase, "Don't make trouble. When we enter the territory of the Holy Life Alliance, find a deserted place to go to the Celtic Firecat tribe." Okay. Granny Zase agreed very readily. So, the two of them successfully integrated into the team, and the fat woman also joined the team. The manager simply explained to Lin Ke that she was the personnel responsible for negotiating with the otter people. Because her family has some noble connections, she naturally looks down on the people in the caravan. However, it's good that it doesn't affect Lin Ke. After 2 hours, the caravan set off. On this side, a black forest composed of dark green leaves and plants is the border between the Black and White Kingdom and the Holy Life Alliance. There is a small river across the Black Forest. After crossing the bridge, it is the Holy Life Alliance. As soon as he entered the Holy Life Alliance, Lin Ke sensed that there was a divine power in the distance that locked onto this place. There were no extra guards or checks, only one god. Lin Ke could not sense the breath of the god, which proved that the god was not close to here, but was a little far away, and should be monitoring many surrounding areas at the same time. The god did not pay much attention to the caravans here. After all, these caravans had reported in advance, and Bolton Goo, you are here. 2 short otter people came out of the woods in the distance, and waved towards this side. The otter people are very cute, with a slender figure, only about 1.5 meters, like Nyx, and look like a large otter. It is the otter people who have been trading with the Duke of Black Forest all year round. And this otter tribe is composed of 70% otter people and 30% beaver people, and the beaver people are still in a dominant position. These otter people are responsible for searching for food, trading, close combat, etc., while beaver people are generally responsible for being artillery mages or building territories. And today, it was 2 otter people who came to pick up this caravan. Sand, my friends. The steward named Boltangu walked forward with a smile. "I hope the wood this time will still satisfy you." Of course. The wood from the Black Forest has always been the best. A beaver man shouted loudly, and at the same time, looked at the carts of wood pulled by reindeer behind the caravan, his eyes shining. "This time the wood is more than last time. Yes, I hope you can prepare enough skins for trading." Boltangu smiled and said, "My master said that summer is coming. You must need a cooler house." That's right. The 2 otter people were extremely excited, and then pointed to the road to Boltangu. Let's go. Okay. Boltangu agreed with a smile. So, the convoy continued to move forward, and the divine power that had been monitoring the convoy also impatiently dissipated without a trace. Obviously, because the transactions between the Duke of Black Forest and the Otter tribe were too frequent in the past few months, the god was too lazy to look at it. Anyway, if there was a problem, he would just go to the Duke of Black Forest. Opportunity. Feeling the divine power dissipate, Lin Ke immediately went forward to find Granny Zase, and took advantage of the fact that everyone was not paying attention, and directly hid in the woods. Galloping all the way, maintaining the invisible state, Lin Ke glanced at the map, and said to Granny Zase next to him, "You should also check it along the way. If you sense uranium mines, tell me." Although Granny Zase had explored some areas of the Nathan continent before, many areas were actually based on speculation. For example, the Celtic Firecat tribe was discovered because Granny Zase failed a history test and bought some goods and artworks of this tribe. Now that there is a chance, Lin Ke will of course let Granny Zase sense it more. What if uranium mines are also found in other places? The more of this stuff, the better. Although a nuclear bomb may not be able to kill a prepared legend with a single attack, it can attack in groups. The more of this stuff, the more nuclear friendly, and nuclear happy the Great Wasteland City is to the outside world. Unfortunately, they didn't encounter a uranium mine along the way. Instead, Granny Zase sensed some iron mines, copper mines, etc., but they were all controlled by some tribes. The speed along the way was not slow, but it took about a night to reach the Celtic Firecat tribe. You have to know that Lin Ke himself has several positions. Granny Zase looks old, but she is also a real genius. She is already a level 15 chemist, but the two of them took so long to arrive. The Holy Life Alliance can be said to be vast and rich. After all, the largest land area is not the Everfrozen Court, not the Black and White Kingdom, but the Holy Life Alliance. The night is thick. Not far away is the Celtic Firecat tribe. Lin Ke looked at the map and then looked at Granny Zase. How is it? Did you sense it? Uranium mine. Granny Zase closed her eyes and sensed it carefully. After a while, she opened her eyes and said in confusion, strange, the uranium mine seems to be covered by someone. I can't feel any uranium breath, nor can I sense any metal element. Can't sense it? Hearing this, Lin Ke raised his eyebrows and immediately became alert. Why was the uranium mine inexplicably covered? Could it be that their whereabouts and purpose of this trip were discovered? Lin Ke did not dare to be careless. Although he was under the optical skill, he still took out the lava scepter and the wand of annihilation and looked around vigilantly. I hope it's not an ambush. Chapter 592, The Containment of the Rat Lord. We will move forward slowly, Lin Ke said cautiously, to prevent ambushes and plots. Okay. Granny Zase also became alert at this time. Her hunched back could not help but bend a little more. She looked around, and at the same time, she had 2 bottles of unknown solid liquid mixture in her hands. As long as it was needed, the power of the bottle in Granny Zase's hand was definitely not inferior to the full strength attack of a professional of the same level. The two walked forward slowly, and the energy in their bodies had been fully mobilized, filling their limbs and bones. The surrounding sounds were very noisy, and the calls of various animals in the jungle came one after another. It didn't seem like there were any powerful creatures living there, but Lin Ke would not be less vigilant. However, it turned out that they were indeed too sensitive. Although Lin Ke's level was low, his comprehension of optics, or the feedback from optics, had completely reached Xinghu. Optics, electricity, classical mechanics, quantum mechanics. In these fields, although Lin Ke didn't know how much feedback the experiments, research methods, conclusions and results brought from his previous life could bring him, but he knew that, so far, in the fields of mathematics, physics, chemistry, etc., these feedbacks added up to be enough for his level limit to reach the legendary level. When he breaks through level 15, it is estimated that his promotion will also usher in a series of climaxes. But no matter what, with optical skills and the characteristics of the Palace Guard bracelet, he took Granny Zase to hide his actions, which ordinary legends could not see through. So, they successfully saw the Celtic Firecat tribe built on a hill not far away. Master Lin Ke's leg. Is that a pig? Granny Zase whispered softly, and the vibration of the sound from her mouth was offset by Lin Ke's power before it came into contact with the air. No, that's not a pigman. It should be a ratman. Lin Ke looked at the creature on the top of the mountain in the distance and squinted his eyes. Just above the mountain, where the Celtic Firecat tribe was located, a giant ratman about 10 meters tall was lying on the top of the mountain. This ratman has thick limbs and a fat body, just like an enlarged version of a giant elephant. His body is black and his hair is coarse. His nose is very long, and the teeth in his mouth are also emitting a hint of cold light. With such a body and characteristics, the furious god Wadi Wedlan. Lin Ke narrowed his eyes and immediately thought of the strong man of this size and strength in the Holy Life Alliance. A level 24 god. The furious god Wadi Wedlan. This is one of the original gods of the Ratman tribe and a relative of the Ratman Lord. It is said that he controls 2 giant secondary planes inhabited by countless Ratmen. The giant secondary plane is a plane with resources and breadth that are not inferior to the main plane. It can be said that except for the strong and the laws, everything else is almost the same as the main plane. At this time, in front of Lin Ke and the others, on the top of the mountain above the Celtic Firecat tribe, the furious god Wadi Wedlin was just lying there to rest. No, not just resting. Lin Ke carefully activated the law of optics, and suddenly saw clearly that Wadi Wedlin seemed to be collecting something from the mountain. Almost invisible green granular smoke was drifting out from the bottom of the mountain. If it weren't for the law of optics, Lin Ke probably wouldn't be able to see it at all. These green technologies drifted out and attached to Wadi Wedlin's hair. That was like steel needles. He was collecting these particles. This is uranium. Lin Ke shared his vision with Granny Zase. You can't feel it, because the uranium element in the uranium mine are being absorbed by Wadi Wedlin without a drop left. No wonder. Lin Ke thought he was ambushed at first, but he didn't expect it was, because this angry Lord God was collecting uranium. Why does he collect this stuff? Granny Zase was puzzled. I haven't heard of anyone in the Holy Life Alliance who knows chemistry. I mean, except for the few kids I taught in our college. The Celtic Firecats live on uranium mines. There should be a huge amount of uranium mines here. Granny, I made a preliminary estimate before that there is a hydrothermal uranium mine under this mountain, the kind of active one. From this point of view, he should not be able to absorb it all. Then why does he collect so much? He can't use it. Granny Zase analyzed it and became more confused. Lin Ke frowned. This is what we know. Uranium mines may be endless, but they don't know. NASA is different from his previous life. In his previous life, many uranium mines may come from uranium element and ore forming fluid uranium in the depths. When the ore forming fluid rises to the surface, the changes in physical and chemical conditions lead to the precipitation and enrichment of uranium into mineralization, which is limited like other mines. But in this life, many mineral veins are simply endless. According to some notes of predecessors, many mines are the movement of rules on the crystal wall system, which leads to the phenomenon of element convergence, and then forms ores. The uranium mines in the Celtic Firecat tribe are just this kind of endless uranium mines. Of course, in the eyes of the Celtic Firecats, this is not a mine, but something similar to the water of life, a resource called dark green scales by their tribe.